Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are watching, and welcome once again to Sydney Harbour. Another day of racing in the 2022 JJ Giltinan 18-foot skiff championship, and another day of two races. We saw two yesterday and two again today, and these are the catch-up races from the day that we lost. So we'll get back on schedule after today. We've had 5 races so far, and after the first race today, the point score, you'll be able to drop your worst performance, but a little bit more of that later. We've got a clear sky, no rain, a few clouds around, and a somewhat gentle breeze, and all skiffs on their big number 1 rigs. I'm Peter Shipway, and along with Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland and our tech boys from Sale Media, we'll be bringing these 2 races to you. So I hope you've enjoyed it so far, the series, and there's a lot more to play out. There's 4 more races still to go, but there's one dominant factor, and that has been Andu, who has won all 5 races. But we'll come to that in a moment. But first of all, we'll say good afternoon to Andrew Buckland. And the weather, please, Andrew.
Well, Pete, we've now got what looks like a more normal autumnal pattern for Eastern Australia. High pressure still on the bite, a ridge just building up on the New South Wales coast. So quite nice, sort of around about 10 knots southeasterly flow onto Sydney Harbour. Not expected to do much over the course of the day, and perhaps 8 to 14 might cover the whole range. Subject to rain squalls, and there is a bit of convection over the land, so we might see that. The water offshore is still pretty hot, but average probably 10 knots, and the tide a weak flood.
And you'd have to say probably pretty shifty as well.
Definitely. And the crews from yesterday were all a little puzzled by that, even the guys that won the race are saying, questions like, well, what was all that about? Yeah, indeed. Interesting day, and I would expect we'll see some pretty good snakes and ladders on the beats and on the runs today.
Well, Jimmy Bury, we'll say good afternoon to you, and we're in Taylor Bay for the start of the first race today. Talk us through the course, please, and the direction.
Afternoon, Shippo. Yeah, the 6/2 is the course, so 2 laps. Direction is 140 and a 1.3 nautical mile beat to windward, right up into Rose Bay. We'd probably be right on the end of Catalina's almost. It's I think they've gone for the maximum amount of distance they can possibly get up into Rose Bay. But yeah, we start down in Taylor's, up into Rose Bay. The island comes into play today for the Shark Island comes into play, on which side to go. So, and same on the downwind run.
Up and down, Jimmy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we saw some very exciting racing yesterday, especially in the first race when it was a thrilling run to the finish between Andu, Tech 2 and Balmain Slake, and that was very close right to the end. And I guess the disappointment of that day was, the first race, was the boys on the Royal Oak Double Bay. They were first across the line but didn't get the hooter because they were over at the start, and that's very, very sad feeling when you get the line and there's no hooter, and then you only realise that you're over. But nonetheless, they certainly showed good speed in that race, notwithstanding that they were over the line. So we might, as we're waiting the starting signals in Taylor Bay, have a look at the point score. It's pretty clear cut at the top, and it's going to take a mighty effort from here with the 4 races remaining to jump over the top of Andu. He's on 5 points after 5 wins. But as I said, after the first race today, you'll be able to drop your worst performance. But at the moment, Andu's not dropping anything. 5 wins. Then in second place is Tech 2 on 13. 3 seconds, a third and a fourth. Then down to Rag and Famish in third spot. Yandu, the veteran John Winning, is 4th. Smeg, the defending champion, 5th. Balmain Slake, the young boys who did well yesterday, 6th. Black Swan from West Australia, who was 2nd in the second race yesterday, jumped up into 7th spot. Fisher Paykel in 8th. Noakes Sailing 9th. The Oak Double Bay 60 points 10th. Then Noakes Youth, Sea-Tech from Queensland, Birkenhead Point Marina, Finport, Burrowang Young Henrys, Black Knight, Shaw and Partners, Lazarus Capital Partners. Now, let's talk about them, Andrew. We saw a big collision on the start line yesterday between Lazarus and Bloody Vikings. And Lazarus had significant damage. They damaged their boom, their outhaul. So what have they done? Read the protest and the points for them.
Well, the committee, Lazarus put in a protest for redress, and evidently the committee has given them average points for those two races. The damage is entirely caused by a boat on port tack that collided without giving any room and opportunity for even the collision avoidance by Lazarus. So the average points for the two races today, evidently from the events of the races up to the conclusion of racing today.
Yes, so their points will be average. So you would expect them to jump up the points table because they were assigned to, did not finish as yesterday, but as you said, they will get average points, so they'll bump them up the point score.
To about 10th, Peter, I would say.
Yeah, okay. Well, as I say, still 4 races to go. 2 today. That's Friday here in Sydney. And then another 1 race tomorrow over the long course, and then another one on Sunday to wind down the championships for 2022. We're the starting area. Not much breeze here at the moment. Lucky to be 10 knots, but it's coming and going in puffs probably to get to 12 maximum, but down as low as 7 or 8 at times. And Taylor Bay, infamously, the wind tends to lift over here, over the top of the cliffs behind us, or the headland behind us, and really makes it a tricky day. Some changes in the crews, and the most significant aboard Balmain Slake. Henry Larkin, the young skipper who did so well yesterday and are doing very well on the point score. He is not well. There's a bit of a lurgy that's going through the fleet. And I think Henry's a victim of that. Tom Needham comes in. I believe his first time in an 18-footer. He's a renowned 49-foot sailor. So a big learning curve for him today. And then on Shore and Partners, Reese Mara comes in for Lindsay Stead. And then the Royal Oak Four Pines, another victim of the sickness. Charlie Gundy drops out, and Tom Quigley, well-known name in the 18-footers, he comes aboard on the Royal Oak Four Pines. So they're the 3 changes. The rest of the crews are intact. And we're just watching the Balmain Slake run down. And there's been a couple of capsizes, and there's another one out there I can see. Not sure who it is.
Ilvay.
Ilvay. Well, who would? Surprise, surprise. John O'Witty. He never lets us down.
No, that's right. So, Pete, and the other thing today, different to most days of the year, the principal race officer, Dougie Cameron, his birthday. I think he was seen out celebrating last night.
Unlike Dougie.
But also, Sammy Newton, the fabulous bowman on the Andu. Happy birthday to you both. And Sammy's little resume for his life to date's been pretty good. If he can maintain that standard, he'll be a record holder of several kinds, I suspect. Formidable achievements across quite a range of classes.
Yep. So it is a light air day, and all skiffs on their big rig, no doubt about that. Be interesting to see how Noakes Sailing go with their big rig. They were very fast the other day before they broke their tiller, and that had a capsize, and they showed good speed. So that'll be a good test for Sean Langman, Josh and Ed. And I think, looking forward to today. I saw Sean last night. He was not disappointed with his performance yesterday.
Yeah, Pete, and I think we should make the point that the series to date has been pretty robust and pretty testing, and it's quite a big change for the conditions that we have today. Won't be any easier tactically, but just physically not as exhausting and not as difficult, not as punishing as the first 5 days of sailing we've had.
Yes, well, yesterday it was really tricky, wasn't it? First of all, which side of the island you go, and then there's some massive shifts within the race. You see boats, high on both tacks, and then they're both low on both tacks, converging on each other. It was a very tricky day, and the AP flag's going up, so we're on delay. Not sure why, but anyway, the starter boys will know what that's all about, but we are on delay, so we will not be starting on time. So if you're just joining us, welcome to you, wherever you are. We've got a nice text from our friends in Singapore, Scott Ryrie, who's watching us up there. Greetings to you, Scott. Hope you're well, and thanks for your kind words. And we're a little while yet. You can go and have a coffee and a bite to eat, and we'll be back, I would think. They're not far off a start. They're just looking... Oh, no, it's going to be close. The AP's down, so don't go and have your coffee, because we will be starting almost on time.
Make it an instant coffee.
Instant coffee, that's right.
Not that you drink it.
So, this will be the sixth race, but it's the rerun basically of heats 3 and 4, and we're racing today for the Alan Cole Trophy, who was a former president of the 18-footers from 6 years, 71 to 77, awarded life membership in 1958. Sailed for many years in the club's fleet with a boat normally known as L&C, and named after his wife. And today's race sponsor is Vycobi, long, good sponsor of the 18s. And say hello to Pat Langley.
There's the 5-minute signals.
5 minutes, okay. So we're close. We're getting close to a start of the 6th race. Just everyone aligning their watches to make sure we've got the correct time. So we're down under 5 minutes to go in the first race today in a southeasterly of, oh gee, it's light here again, Andrew. 8 knots perhaps.
Yeah,
and Ilve still capsized about 100 metres upwind of the starting line.
we're in a little lull, aren't we?
And they've got a boat around them looking, maybe there's an issue that we can't see.
The kitchen maker, their jib luff strop, it seems to have not been tied on properly, or...
I'd say it's a rigging error by the look of that. Certainly not enough stress so far today to break anything. One would have thought.
It's first and second on the point score, Andu and Tech 2. Well, it's got to be a moving day for Tech 2.
4 minutes.
4 minutes to go. And light air here. Andrew, we're just looking down the starting line. What are we seeing? What do you think?
Oh, it's a pretty good line, good length, and hard to say. You just got to try and figure out which side the pressure's coming from. And so you wouldn't want to make a decision until about 1 minute to go, I don't think.
All right, we'll have to make a decision now. I'm going to put you on the spot. Left or right of the island, boys?
Left.
Jimmy?
Left. I think.
Well, your favourite boat up there is showing you the right way, okay? I'll give you the clue.
I'll tell you as we get to the weather mark which way I would have gone, okay?
That's right, that's right.
I want to give,
Peter's got this special device.
I don't want to give too much away.
How much are they, Pete, down at Willie's, a retrospectoscope, mate? Are they cheap? Or?
Yeah, very cheap.
Which aisle are they in, mate? I couldn't find one.
3 minutes. 3 minutes to go. And there's...
So the kitchen maker indeed capsized in the middle of the line.
Right in the middle of the line, which is not quite handy. Ilve trying to get extracted from their capsized position. It looks as though he may just make it. 2:45 to go. It's going to be tough. He's just getting up Ilve, but kitchen maker, I would say, unless something dramatic happens very quickly, he's going to be struggling to get up and going for the start, which is 2 minutes, 30 seconds away.
Pete, he'll get here. If he can just bear away, he'll get here all right.
Who's that, Ilve?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the kitchen maker's going to be a bit of froth and bubble. Trouble.
The kitchen maker Bowman's working on the Spectra.
2:15.
Tough day.
There's Smeg, defending champion, and has a lot of work to do. Currently 6th on the point score. Don't forget, a couple of these boats had really bad scores, so that'll come into play after today's race when they can drop their worst performance. Boat like Noakes Sailing has had a 24th, so you would expect that they will drop that, and their point score position could improve quite dramatically. The 1 minute 40 to go, and there's the kitchen maker, a bit off screen. He's just getting upright, but the fleet well back with 1 minute 30 to go. Ilve had to set a spinnaker to get down quickly to the starting line.
No, Pete, he's just trying to dry it out enough so that he can hoist it.
He's got to do something quickly because he's going to miss the start. He's going completely in the wrong direction. 1 minute 20 to go.
My goodness.
And the kitchen maker did get up. It looks as though he's resurrected his jib, so he'll make it, which is good. Just over a minute to go. You'll hear the hooter.
So, Pete,
and there's 1 minute.
Breeze looks a little better on the right edge here now, so I'd be trying to start near the boat.
So we're both going, your boys are going left, are you?
We're starting at the boat and going left
Okay, all right. Why not at the pin and go left?
because there's less wind down there. I
Okay,
think.
all right. No, just testing you out.
Yep.
40 seconds.
And Tech 2 at the boat for the first time this week.
Does that tell you he might want to go right, do you think?
And you wait to see he's on his starboard hip, Bucko.
Yeah.
Where is Andu?
On the starboard hip.
On the starboard
as
hip, 25
Jimmy
seconds.
suggested.
Fisher Paykel down the leeward end along with Lazarus. Oh, a bit of yelling. Andu trying to get in. Go up, this call.
Very aggressive from Sev.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. They're going to be clear, I think.
Yep.
I think we're clear. Yep, we're away. Jumped out nicely in the middle was Noakes sailing. Some good yelling here. C-Tech, where are they going? On board the committee boat? No. Tech 2 squeezed in there. And Lazarus very strong down at the pin. It's Marcus Ashley Jones after his misfortune yesterday. Retired with a broken boom after being hit right at the start of the first start. And here the bailouts are coming now to get onto port. Andu's onto port. Tech 2's onto port. Ilve's onto port. Finport's onto port. The Germans, they're all starting to bail out. Those Black Swan almost capsized in the middle of the line as he tried to tack. We're away. A group again to the right and a group again to the left. Lazarus has tacked. He got the pin end. And there's good breeze now again. It's lifted in here again, Andrew. They're all in good maximum pressure.
Yeah, so it actually turned out fairly even across the track. In fact, after that little rolly puff came through, now breeze fully in the middle.
Just quickly, the boats that went left, headed by Lazarus and Noakes to a certain extent, Noakes sailing, they look strong at the moment. Fisher Paykel's up there, Speg's up there.
Seeing a little bit of inversion on the mains every now and then, just getting a little flutter, so breeze is picking up.
So Lazarus leads, Pete.
I think they do. I think they do. That's them stepping out nicely. So Shaw and Partners is strong. I think the pin, as you said, Andrew, was a strong position at the start.
I'm not starting with you ever again, Bucko.
Wow. I mean,
Appliance is online there, going all right?
yeah, no, he's going all right, but
It's behind him, Noakes Youth. It's Lazarus, Shaw and Partners are probably the two leaders. Just Fisher Paykel just behind Lazarus. And the group that have gone hard right first up, Andu, Tech 2,
the Dark Knight.
don't look that strong at the moment. But it's a shifty day as it was yesterday. They keep punching to the right, looking for the right-hander to come back on. But at the moment, Lazarus in a good left-hander. Absolute beauty. He's about 10 degrees higher than the boats that got out there to the right quickly. And even further to the left, the appliance is online. He's about 5 degrees higher than Lazarus.
Yeah.
See Lazarus going to pop out behind his leech of his mainsail.
So we're travelling with appliances and they're pretty much lined up with the island almost. And a good bit of left-hander coming for them with pressure.
There's Lazarus. He will be leading, but Shaw and Partners is close. Then Lazarus just starting to get a bit of a header. Maybe that yacht's giving him a bit of a dirty air. Andu and Tech 2 haven't tacked yet. They're going hard right.
Well, they will tack as if tied together by a bit of rubber band, you'd expect, Pete.
I don't think a rubber band, I reckon a very small piece of string, Bucko.
So Andrew and Jimmy, no one listened to you, they all listened to me. They went right of the island. That's what I said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're all good.
The breeze has gone so hard left, Pete, as it turns out, it is a long way on the left, isn't it? like Appliances is nearly laying up inside the reef. They have to go left of the island.
Yeah, the shift will play out here. Andrew's starting to come back.
Yep.
Doesn't look that bad, actually. Now he's got up there and got a tickle of right hand.
And pretty nice wind where we are.
Noakes sailing, coming back just under Andu. Behind them, Rag and Famish. Smeg battling in the middle somewhat. Shaw and Partners will be crossing Fisher Paykel. There's Fisher Paykel, John the stern of Shaw and Partners. Andu coming in hard from the right and looks strong. Surprise, surprise. And right up to windward's Tech 2.
Yeah.
Right up.
Wow.
Just tacked now. He's tucked right up to Point Piper. But as Lazarus is going to be close to the lead with Andu. But Lazarus now taking a header. Andu on a shift. A good right-hand shift. And at the moment, he's going to be very close to Lazarus.
No,
Just
Lazarus
off
leads.
screen, I think the two, I think Noakes Youth just came together.
Right.
Amazing.
That's not recommended.
No youth on port, the sponsor on starboard. What would you do, Pete?
Well, get out of the way. But
Red carpet.
Lazarus will cross Andu by about 4 or 5 boat lengths. So Lazarus leads.
And enough wind in the Dardanelles here.
Yes.
Main inversion on the Andu.
Yeah, good spiky stuff here between Shark Island and Point Piper. And the windward mark a fair way up into Rose Bay.
Noted, Peter, noted.
Shaw and Partners just tacking in really good breeze. Or for today, it's good
So
12 knots.
Noakes left of shot. Sean been complaining about the low boom in his wonky knee. He's figured it out though. Here he goes. Fisher and Paykel making a good fist of the first beat again, Pete.
They are. There's Lazarus, Andu and Fisher Paykel.
So Tech 2 hasn't succeeded in that hard right adventure.
No, they've really dropped off there. They came back in probably lighter air and down pressure and down direction. They're about, they'll be lucky to be 10th or 12th now, Tech 2. There's Noakes. They would be about 3rd, 4th or 5th in that, certainly in that leading group. Shaw and Partners and Noakes getting some inversion in that mainsail. Lazarus going right into the eastern end of Point Piper on a nice shift there. He's going to, hopefully he'll just get a little header to come back out on, but at the moment he's on a massive left-hander. Right up his exhaust pipe is Andu. Look at Lazarus just belting along the shore there. He's got to bail out in a moment.
And Shaw and Partners is probably second, Pete, now.
Yeah, they've all got a left-handed shift. Yep. Shifty again. Okay, Lazarus is tacked. And that's the order.
And Shaw and Partners bow to bow with Andu. Not quite.
Yeah, so Andu's second.
Little
Shaw
duck,
and Partners.
little duck from the Shaw and Partners.
Fisher Paykel just behind them, 4th. And Noakes will be next. And 2 boats took your advice, Andrew, and went left of the island.
Yeah, and
they don't look too strong.
Appliances are going to be 5th at the mark, though, Pete.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Anyway, all eyes on the Lazarus boys. Marcus Ashley Jones, Cam Gundy and Geronimo Harrison. Well under the ley line. And just you can see how shifty it is that Fisher Paykel's coming off Point Piper is about 10, 15 degrees higher than Lazarus. Yes, Andy didn't like what they were seeing, so they've bailed out. They'll go up onto the ley line, you would think. And not much breeze. What have we got here, Andrew? Lucky to be 10 knots.
Andu in trouble.
Oh, what's happened here?
Shaw and Partners had to duck him. Andu wing hit the water. full stop, and God knows what they were thinking, but they didn't need to push that bit of luck, did they?
No. Okay, do we may talk about that a bit later. But Lazarus now is tacked right up, almost on the port tack lay line. Not much pressure, although he's got 3 strings. There's about 10 knots here at the mark, so it'll be an easy bear away.
Yeah. And Fisher and Pike's going to get their third. By the look of that.
Okay, Lazarus round. Straight into the spinning, you'd say. Ooh, Shaw and Partners rolling the dice on port. And Fisher Paykel, if he can lay it, he will be second. Jordan Gertis.
How about that?
He will be second. Very light here. You can just see them bobbling along. Fisher Paykel's round, just squeezes around. Shaw and Partner on the outside, Andu on the inside. And Noak Saley in the mix also. Now, Andu are doing penalty turns. Okay, that's what we thought would happen. For that instant. Oh, and Fisher Paykel's just tied up on the mark. And Appliance is online. He's one of the 2 boats that went to the left. And he's around. He did well.
In 5th because Fisher Paykel tied himself up to the mark for you.
Yeah, okay. So 5th, it wasn't too bad. Smeg's around, then Rag and Famish. Now where's... Oh, Andu is around, so he's exonerated himself from that port and starboard. So that's all good. It's going to be a long starboard on this run, I think, Andrew, isn't it? No one's jibed.
No.
They're all going down the eastern side, close to Shark Island. There's Tech 2.
Almost laying.
There's Tech 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 8th. Kitchen Maker 9th. The Black Swan 10th. Come the Germans. Black Knight. Then Noakes Blue. And then following them, after Noakes Blue, will be the Royal Oak. And then a fair gap then to Ilvay, C-Tech, Noakes Youth.
And I've got to report to you, Peter, that your friend and colleague, Mr. John Winning, is in the tide over there.
Yeah, where is he? I was looking for him.
Just off Point Piper in the tide.
Oh, gee. Wow. How unusual for that to happen. That will not make him happy. But anyway, we're focusing on this group that is headed down this run. They're on long starboard jibe. 2 laps, 2 windwards, 2 leewards. What have we got? About 10 to 12 knots of breeze. Lazarus leads. First to jibe is Shaw and Partners, but we're on Tech 2 and Kitchen Maker. They're about 8th and 9th. So all on starboard jibe except Shaw and Partners. See, with the red spinning, was just jibe back again on the starboard. Lazarus leads. Fisher Paykel there in about 4th position, 4th or 5th. Behind them, Andu, who've already done a penalty turn, so they're clear. They would be 3rd or 4th.
Shaw and Partners coming at Lazarus pretty quick down that bit of the run. Sorry, Noakes Sailing coming at Lazarus pretty quick.
Yeah, that's Shaw and Partners. They were the first to jibe. Then went out on port for about 200 or 300 metres, then coming back on starboard.
Breeze almost further east, Pete. Almost.
It played tricks yesterday, this ley line to the gate and certainly to the finish. Everyone jibing way too late. The breeze went to the right and caught them short. Here are the 2 leaders. Marcus Ashley Jones in the Lazarus. Sean Langman in Noakes Sailing. Shore and Partners third, but we're on the 2 leaders. There's a gate here. They can go round a left mark or a right mark. What mark do you favour here, Andrew? I need a quick decision.
No,
Quickly, Andrew.
Going to go there clean. We're going to the left-hand one, looking downwind.
Yeah, just a conventional drop.
Yep.
Oh no, I think Lazarus is going to the other mark.
Mark's going to do a jibe drop, which is sensible for him because he's behind clearly. And
Yeah.
Gets him out of the gas.
So they'll almost be equal around these marks if the marks are
No, the marks
square to wind.
are pretty good.
So Noakes probably round just a whisker quicker, but anyway, I'd say that's a dead heat at the moment. So which way do you want to go? That's the question.
Well,
Lazarus is going left. Noakes right.
Noakes just hardened up, and then they're going to have
Andrew barrelling in, and Shore and Partners will go round third. Andrew are going to the left-hand mark, and then a fair gap to fifth, which will be Fisher Paykel, and then Smeg after them, and then Tech 2 following on. But there's Andrew, the series leader, unbeaten so far in the 5 races. Got the job ahead of him now. There's only 1 windward beat to go and a run to the finish. So can Andrew keep his perfect score in check, or can it be Lazarus or Shore and Partners or Noakes Sailing that will get their name on the winners list? As soft again here. There's Fisher Paykel going round in 5th spot. They'll go to the left-hand mark, I think.
Having disentangled themselves from the mark.
Yes, that was bad luck. They really got tied up in that mark. And remembering, in 18-foot sailing, unlike most sailing, you can touch the mark without re-rounding or incurring a penalty. But the penalty is if you hang up on the mark. That's a big enough penalty.
Oh,
He's lost sight of the mark here.
He has lost sight of the mark. What's he doing here, Jordan? What happened there? But anyway, that'll enable Smeg to go round in 5th spot.
Well, he might have decided the other mark looks easier. I don't know.
No.
He might be doing a penalty turn. I don't know.
Right, maybe he is.
Yeah.
Bumpy water, not much breeze, make it very hard for himself, but there's a fair gap to the next group, which is led by the Kitchen Maker. Tech 2 coming in on starboard. There's a real gaggle here, the traditional gaggle in the middle of the fleet.
Yeah, so Tech 2 and the Rag here will...
There they come in.
Jibe drop, you'd think.
yep.
Yeah, exactly. And clear their air and stay in the strongest part of the breeze, which is on the right at
There's
the
a
moment.
huge group here. Royal Oaks in here, the Germans, Balmain Slake, Noakes Blue, Sea-Tech, Ilvay, Kitchen Maker, Appliances Online. A real battle here in this group. All have got the job done nicely.
West
Bit of yellow. He's got the West Australians.
Black Swan.
He's in there. Somehow he's in there.
A great boy room smash up.
Yeah.
But he's got a twist in his jib, Pete, so he can't
Oh, the
go
Black
upwind.
Knight goes round.
Hard to get out on these boats with the full-length battens.
Okay. Then we're away upwind for the final time in this first race of today, a short race. 2 laps only.
So what do they all learn on the first beat, Pete? I mean, it looks to me like the breeze has gone back to the right a little bit compared to how it was at the top of the first beat.
Compared to where Burgundy Point Marina is at the moment, though.
Yeah.
Bugger, they're quite lifted on port,
Yeah.
still coming downhill.
Yeah. The mighty Black Swan.
Yeah.
Setting up the tack by the look of that.
Good race yesterday in the second race. They were second to finish.
In a bit of
And
down
there's
pressure.
Yandu, a most uncharacteristic capsize, approaching the weather mark. And
The capsize in light air, Peter.
well, uncharacteristic as it is, he's pretty good, John Winnie, in the fresh air. Light air is a dawdle in the park for him, but it was the wrong park to dawdle in, apparently. And he is almost last.
Fell into a pothole.
There's Noakes Sailing, doing a fine job upwind. He was almost first at the gate with Lazarus.
Lazarus hard over off Steel Point. Shipper, if you're looking for
Amazing.
them.
Lazarus went straight around the right-hand mark looking downwind and went long starboard right into Steel Point. With the rest of the fleet have gone to the right-hand side of the island. Talk about not covering. That would be the biggest non-cover in history.
I'll be the hero or zero move.
Yeah. But the boat that's sailing quickly in the group is Noakes Sailing.
He's the race leader.
Well, you can't. Literally, Lazarus is so far away, you wouldn't know whether he's first or last. But gee, he absolutely rolled the dice. But here's a boat that we thought, after the first race last Saturday in a light to moderate nor'easter, looked pretty quick upwind. Here again today, he's really showing that he's got some good speed. Sean Langman, Ed Powers and Josh Pabeski, they're about halfway up this beat, going into Point Piper. This is the final windward leg, and then just a run to the finish.
Well, we're just into moderate air again, a little bit of main
Yeah,
intuition.
what have we got? We're just lucky to have 11 knots here.
Well, look at his mainsail, Pete, in this next little puff. Hard left and 12.
Okay, well, that's what he wants. Bit of a left-hander just to consolidate his lead on this group. It's a big lead he's got on boats like Andu and Fisher Paykel. Just ain't a header now. There he
just
goes.
setting up.
Okay, nice and solid on that gust they're coming into. They'll be hoping for the little right-hander. There's Andu, well behind
Great little puff.
Noakes Sailing. But that's a lovely puff. Very good. Looks very tidy there. Andu, though. And there's the split screen. That's the race leader. We think Andu's second. We don't know where poor old Lazarus has gone. He's gone right up the other side of Steel Point, split away from them. We're on Noakes.
And
And
Noakes
Andu a bit of inversion in the mainsail, so plenty of pressure. Noakes also, but crew working hard. And we still are yet to see Lazarus pop out from the other side of the island. And Sean just having a look around. He'd be pretty happy with what he sees.
and
It's not far off the lay either.
I can tell you that Josh and Ed would be telling him, don't look around.
Oh, Lazarus, wow.
Oh, Lazarus. Talk about hero to zero.
See if we can line them up in the back of the shot just to show the...
Still on Noakes. He's short of the ley line. He's about 200 metres downwind. There's Lazarus. Not too bad. Not as bad as I first thought, but
Far from great.
well, considering they went round the gate together,
Yeah.
it's a massive lead that Noakes now has over Lazarus Capital Partners. It's the old story, Andrew. You've got to put a bit of a cover in, haven't you?
Well, you can be, if you're in the lead, you're allowed to go a bit loose up the middle, aren't you, in this condition? And
He went loose on the left. Talk
Yeah.
about loose.
yeah,
He was off the leash.
yeah.
Let's go down.
Looks pretty good. Noakes just got about 100 metres to go. He's not on the ley line. He's got to come back. So 2 and in now.
So, Pete, it looked like on that whole beat, he never ran out of wind at all.
No. And it was, again, it's shifty. He seems to have picked these shifts very well. Nice tack. And he's really opened out on Andu. So let's think that he could be headed for some glory here. But we won't put the mocker on him too early.
Yeah.
So they're tacking now on the ley line. Not much wind. So it's going to be a very easy bear away. What have we got about? Oh, lucky to be 10 knots here. 8 knots perhaps.
Yeah, a little 10
Few little gusts coming
10
down.
knot
But
puff coming to help him.
just got 3 strings.
Yeah. So he's in 8 now. The little puff coming to his aid now, though, Pete.
Okay.
Great little puff, Bucko.
Yep. Just exactly what you would
There's
have
the
ordered in it, Jimmy. You'd go, what I
Yeah,
want,
we're-
about 10 knots.
we'll
Thank
see
you.
the
Right
action.
at the mark.
See the action here in the cockpit. Okay, who's in first? It'll be Josh. The white hat, there he goes. You'll see in a moment Andu coming in. They will be second. Lazarus is probably third. He's resurrected a bit of that. He'll be third.
Wow.
There's Andrew. There's Lazarus right of screen. Behind him, oh no, someone going in front of him. Who was that? Was that Fisher Paykel, I think?
So Noakes in a good bit of heading pressure here,
Yeah,
Pete.
yeah. Just okay. Here's the leader.
Rock and roll. And Andrew's just tagging to go to the mark now.
Yeah,
so
Andrews will be second. Then Fisher Paykel, Lazarus, and Shaw and Partners fighting out for third. But all eyes on Noakes sailing as they're heading down the final run. Andu about to go round the mark. There's the mark for Andu.
almost exactly a 1 minute lead.
Well, I think I could win from here, Bucko.
Hello?
Oh, oops. Careful, don't get the wobble, Sean. Oh, I've run out of wind.
Just a big velocity header. Amazing. 12
And
knots to 6.
Smeg in the tide in the background.
Yeah. Oh, Smeg went over. Wow, there's two experienced skippers. Had a really off day, Yandu and Smeg.
Maybe the night at the rag has got to both of them.
Dear, oh dear. The defending champion, Smeg, they haven't had a great series, not one to remember, but anyway, might be a day to remember for Sean Langman and Josh and Ed. It's nicely going towards Steel Point.
Just a bit more pressure coming down this edge here, Pete, now, so I think they'll just be keeping it pretty simple. One job, they've got to take into account the big barge, which is getting transported away, Jimmy, yeah?
Yep.
Looking behind them, there's a nice breeze coming, as you say, Andrew. It's probably 12 knots. Very steady here. There we go. We'll watch the jibe and be on now.
They're okay on the barge.
Yeah. Great crew work.
Here's the view behind.
That's what they're looking at from behind when Sean looks around and has a look at Andu. And I think it's Lazarus.
Lazarus is third.
Third, yeah. Well, he did good to recover
Shaw and Partners
there.
fourth.
Third spot. Shaw and Partners fourth.
Yep.
So this is the first of two races
Fisher Paykel,
today.
then Tech 2, and then the Rag and Famish.
All eyes on Noakes. He's halfway down the last Spinnaker run.
And he's just jibed there on
Just
screen, Pete.
jibing. Not much wind where he is. Probably lucky to be 10 knots. And the lead now is probably a good 30 to 40 seconds.
Well, they've just got a big puff of notes and
Which is
behind to the finish line.
terrific effort from one of the elder statesmen of the fleet, Sean Langman, 60 years young, the other day.
Ironically, it was his birthday on the day that was called off, Pete. So this is his birthday race.
Right, this is his birthday. Well, nice present he's getting here.
A couple of days late, but here it is.
And a nice long finishing line from the committee. No need to pick a jibe angle, Jimmy.
No, we're right above him. Okay, Andu. Second for them at the moment. Well, they'll certainly be more than happy with that. And then in the distance we've got Lazarus, Fisher Paykel.
Oh, it's a big battle for 4, 5, 6.
Yes, that's the battle. I think first is, well, I won't say it too early, but I think Noakes Sailing will win. There you go. There's a fearless prediction. Great overhead shot. Sean hanging on for dear life.
Wow. It's funny, isn't it? But he'll feel such a sense of relief if they get across the line.
What an awesome thing, like brand new boat 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was saying it was going to be a big risk, but
He's got one and in. He's not laying the finishing line, or is he now? He might.
Very close to laying the committee boat. Nice, still.
No, one and in. 3, 2, 1. There we go. No wobble, Shauno. Hang on to it.
Giant drop.
Quietly, quietly.
The safe version.
Yes. Get it ready for the next race. Okay. Noakes wins. Noakes sailing. Sean Langman. And breaks the domination of Andu, who will be second.
Go up to the next one.
And then a fair gap then to third, which will be Lazarus, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's Andu. You can just see how light it is. Sevi sitting in. Oh no, it's Matt, is it?
Matty Stenner
Matt's
sitting in.
Yep.
Little Katut.
Okay, so second to Andu.
So 50-second margin.
Yeah, well, it's a good margin in that breeze, but well done to Noakes Sailing. Looks strong all day, and here's Lazarus. Well, they, how would you sum their race up, Andrew? Fast, but not in the right direction.
Saw greatness and ran away from it.
Oh, anyway.
But still, it's easy to say sitting here, isn't it, Pete?
Yep. But they'd be happy with third after the disasters of yesterday, with 2 non-finishers after they suffered a severe accident on the starting line, which wasn't their fault, and they will be getting average points. So this will lift their average up with a third placing, Geronimo Harrison and Cam Gundy. Coming across in third place, and a good battle for fourth between, we'll see them in a moment, as Lazarus goes across in third spot.
Yeah, Tech 2's done a good job there, soaking down over the bow of Fisher and Paykel. And one jibe and they're done.
Yeah, they'll just hold Fisher and Paykel out till they... Oh, there's Fisher and Paykel going.
And they're in a good puff.
Is Tech 2 and Fisher Paykel. And Tech 2 closest to the committee boat. We'll get there by a boat length or 2. Tech 2 across almost. Okay, so they're fourth. Fisher Paykel fifth. Sixth will be between Shaw and Partners and the Rag. I think the Shaw Partners with a red spinnaker. Oh, this is, yes, they'll be closest to the committee boat. Yeah, they'll be easy sixth, Shaw and Partners. Seventh, the Rag, who'll have to, there's Shaw and Partners across. Rag seventh.
And the German lager supplier will be eighth.
Yeah, Black Knight eighth. And then they're across a ninth. And then following them will be the Black Swan. Black Knight followed by Black Swan. It's surprising how quickly that fleet gets spread out, isn't it? There's a long gap now to the next boat, which will probably be between Ilvay and Balmain Slake.
Might be Smeg, Pete, down the middle.
Smeg going down the middle. He's got a nice heading puff.
Yeah.
After his capsize going upwind.
Heading puff from the right, looking upwind. Don't know. It's close.
No, I like Balmain Slake here, I think.
Yeah, he probably leads the group by the look of that now. Yep, indeed.
Not bad for Tom's first race in an
first
18.
outing. Tom
Yeah,
Needham.
and they started in row B, so
Yeah,
you know, it's always going to
be pretty intimidating. Bucko, get the phone call going. Do you mind jumping in? An 18-footer.
Oh yeah, but he's been at the 49er training mill.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Come and have a start at the JJs.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. Anxious moments indeed.
I missed the call, actually. They did ring, but I was...
Oh,
I was otherwise engaged.
phone was off the hook.
Yes. Hilvey was 11th. 12th. So Balmain got 10th. Hilvey 11th. Smeg, disappointing, 12th.
Yeah, Smeg on the riding lever.
Adds to their week, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's things go wrong. They sometimes continue to go wrong. And following will be Noakes Youth in 13th.
And the poor old Royal Oak 4 Pines.
Yeah, well, they'll be 14th. Oh, yeah. Noakes Youth across. I don't think you'd want to ask John Winning how his day was.
We'll do an interview between races, Pete, won't we?
Well, you can.
Yeah.
There's the rest of the fleet drifting down. There'll be the Royal Oak will be 14th. And then CTEC 15. Okay, well, look, the rest, we'll give you the rest of the finishers shortly, but we're just going to, we earlier on today had a nice interview with Aaron Everett, the skipper of Royal Oak 4 Pine, and he gave us some details on his boat, and I think you'll find that very interesting. So just as CTEC goes across, and the next one across is
Appliances online.
Yep, AOL. So here we go. So I'm with Aaron Everett, the skipper of Royal Oak 4 Pines. Aaron, there's a few things that we talk about during the commentary on the boat, and let's just have a look at a few of those. Let's talk about the jib backing line first.
Yeah, okay, righto. So, well, first of all, hi to everyone. Great to see all your comments every week and how many people tune in. It's awesome to go back and rewatch the races and see all that sort of stuff. So that's much appreciated from our side of things. Jib backing line, sounds like there's been a few questions about that. So you can see here, we've got the track here for the trolley of the jib to run across. So that's a self-tacking jib. And each side has this rope here that pulls it up and down the other way. So if I go through and I do a bad tack and the nose hasn't come away enough, Charlie, the bow, he'll lean over and grab this rope here, which comes to the end of the track and then to the jib car and just pulls it back to windward. And that pulls the nose around and hopefully gets us set on the new tack, and then he lets that go and the jib rolls through again and sets itself. The other reason we use that as well is in the set of the spinnaker, because the spinnaker runs up the mast and can easily get caught on the back of the jib. So that's why the rope, it's a bit hard to see, I think, but actually comes back to where I stand. As we're setting the spinnaker, I'm pulling the jib back to windward again to clear that zone for the spinnaker to go up to leeward of the jib. And then once that's clear of the jib, I'll let that go. The jib will set itself again because it just seems to get in the way, unfortunately, a fair bit. And I think that's it. With any other stuff on that?
No, that's very clear on that. Now, let's talk about these levers that you've got on your side stays. How does that adjustment work, and when do you use that?
Yeah, right. So there are two options the boats have got. We've got the lever system here, and some of the other boats, it's probably the next generation, is they've actually got a barrel in there, which has a rope that goes around, so you can pull that, turn the barrel, and that effectively pulls these down, doing the same sort of thing, but just a different way to do it. So it's the top stay, which goes to the top of the mast, and the side stay, which it's about 3/4 of the way up the mast. And as you pull the lever down, and we've just got ropes going out to each side, so once again, Charlie, the bowman, pulls that on. That pulls that lever down, and in a ratio, imagine you can zoom in on that, pulls in the side stay, which is the one lower down, moves further than the cap stay, which comes down a little bit, but probably about a 2-to-1 ratio. So as we pull that on, this comes on twice as much as that. Bends the mast, you depower the sail a bit there, so you're tending to go on if you're overpowered, if you're wanting to depower your sail, and it's actually surprisingly effective. One of those things that you pull it straight on and you just get better steerage, and yeah, it helps out a lot.
And if you adjust one side, does it automatically adjust the other, or are they individual?
Yep, sorry, that's a good point. They're connected here. I don't know if you can see from there. This is the two ropes come down to this pulley system. So obviously there's a huge amount of load in it, so we need a serious pulley system set up. So it goes out to both sides, and whichever side you pull on evenly pulls on both levers down, and so it keeps the whole mast symmetrical.
Well, getting into the cockpit of the boat, it looks like a real rope factory. Tell us who does what and what are they all for?
Yeah, so I think one of the goals in probably all boats is to go for different coloured ropes. Because there are so many ropes around, it's easy just to, if you go, the yellow rope I know is the one I've got to pull now, you reach for that. I think the two that people have been asking about are the tack and the halyard for the spinnaker. So the tack is pulled out. The tack's the one that takes the spinnaker out to the very end of the spinnaker pole. So that's pulled generally by the sheet hand. So he comes in and grabs this one, and that's a rope that continues through there, through the hull, and straight out through the middle of the bow pole to the very end, pulls the spinnaker out there. The other halyard, the other rope is the halyard, which we unfortunately haven't got set up yet. That'll be rigged, goes down to a block at the base of the mast, and then comes through there and out through this, so it's more or less a mirror image of that, and through this pulley. So the sheet hand pulls that one as he's standing. It's a bit hard to see the boat on its side, but he's standing pulling that this way. At the same time, the bow's pulling this rope straight up, the mirror image of that, and that's going up to the top of the mast, the halyard. And in theory, they should both get to the masthead and the tack, the front of the pole at the same time, in a beautiful set, which rarely happens, but it's pretty to watch when it does. So yeah, that's pretty good shoulder workout for the boys when that starts happening. So that's the tack and the halyard, and then these systems here, there's a lot of shot cord in here. They're just take-up systems, because obviously once you pull the halyard and tack on, you don't want ropes tangling themselves. So the theory is that those shot cords pull tight, stretch all the ropes out the length of the deck of the boat, and then once you are dropping the spinnaker, they're a straight line and don't get into tangles, because that's when you see some issues down at the bottom mark, getting the spinnakers down. Any other questions?
Thanks very much to Aaron
Just
Everett.
wrapping
We
it up.
found
Okay.
that very informative. I hope you did at home or wherever you're watching. One of the really nice guys of the 18-foot skiff fleet. So the race is all but over for the first day as the final boat goes across. It's the Bloody Vikings from Denmark, and the breeze is down again. We're waiting here at Taylor Bay for the start of the second race today, which will mean that there'll be 7 races completed. So just recapping today's first race, a new leader, a new winner. Noakes Sailing, Sean Langman first, Andu second, Lazarus Capital Partners third, followed by Tech 2 fourth, Fisher Paykel fifth, Shaw and Partners sixth, Rag and Family seventh, Black Knight 8, Black Swan 9, Balmain Slate 10, Ilvay 11, Smeg 12, Noakes Youth 13th, Royal Oak 14th, Sea-Tech 15th, Appliances Online 16th, Kitchen Maker 17th, Noakes Blue 18th, 18-footer Bar and Restaurant 19th, 20th Lazarus Developments, Finport was 21st, Yandu 22nd, Burrowang 23rd, Birkenhead 24th, and the Bloody Vikings 25th. So we still haven't got signals for the second race today. The breeze still in the southeast, but oh gee, 10, 11 knots. And just as I speak, signals have been hoisted. So we've got just under 5 minutes to go. And Andrew, just a very quick overview of provisional point score, say the first 3 or 4 boats.
Okay, so provisionally now with a drop, Andu leads with 6. Tech 2 second on 13. Rag and Famish third on 24. Noakes Sailing fourth on 32. Balmain Slake fifth on 38. Yandu 6 on 40. And Smeg and Black Swan tied for 7-8 on 41.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the Royal Oak Four Pines 9th on 48. So that's sort of the top 10.
Okay, it's starting to get meaningful now, the point score. 3 races left in this series. And just waiting for we just had the 4-minute signals for this second race here today. And Noak Sailing, a very worthy winner of that race, beat Andu. So
Course is the same as last time. Course axis 140, 1.3 mile.
okay,
The course unchanged and the start line unchanged. The breeze a little softer
yeah, generally softer right across the race course.
and a little in the right, Peter, somehow. Don't ask me to explain how.
So which way are we going, boys?
Your call, Pete, today.
Yeah,
Yep. We're
there's
handing it all back to you, Shippo.
Okay, there's shifts plus shifts, and I'm gonna go up the middle early and then think about it.
Think of that's a good call, Pete.
Okay.
Right?
Well, we're ready to respond whenever you make your decision.
That's
Well,
right.
as I get the weather mark, I'll let you know. But right across the starting line is a East Sail training yacht. There he goes,
Getting taught some pretty bad habits, I suggest.
and some good vocabulary, I would say. But
Just get Woody to come down.
2 minutes 40 to go. He will be clear of the starting area. But gee, it's light here. Wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
but
10
the next
knots
one
here?
won't be.
Oh, I see.
They're
They're going
coming
around
around
the mark,
Taylor
just
Bay
behind
mark,
us.
just behind us.
Okay.
So, Pete, I think this is a find the wind game, this next one. See if you can figure out where the first puff is and try and get to it.
Have they dropped the pin back a bit, Andrew, do you think?
They may have.
It looks as though they could have.
Just a little.
It's down where Lazarus is, where he started down there last time. 2:15 to go. It's a good overhead shot. You can see down at that leeward end is a couple of the fleet, but the majority are up here at the weather end or the committee boat end.
Yep, in behind the Camry Cat, where we are at the committee boat. Pete, you got Ando and Tech 2
Again, that's where they...
jousting again.
Minute 50 to go. This second race today, light air now. Gee,
Very light.
this is going to be a tricky day.
So this is going to be dead
Trickier,
soft,
trickier.
Dead soft rig settings. Looks like a little bit of funnel coming directly down the centre of the course. So maybe, Pete, you're right. You just have to find the wind up the middle and then
Yep.
figure it out as you get up there.
So those levers Aaron was talking about, they'll be letting them off
Yeah,
to try and deepen things up.
Power the rigs up. That's what we
all
want.
deep rig settings, about 130, just inside 130. And fleet looks reasonably okay along the line, fairly spread out. Ando and Tech 2, both at the weather end.
They're well back, the whole fleet, with just over a minute to go. The Germans up here in the Black Knight. There's a minute to go. Lazarus down at the pin. That's where he was last time and did very well. Up at the windward end, Andu's tacked away.
Yeah, so Pete, it looks like the wind slightly favours the right side on the first part of the beat now for pressure.
45 seconds.
It's Pete's call, remember, Bucko?
Oh, I forgot. No, I'm giving you information so I can make a
Put
good
it in the
decision.
suggestion box. You'll
That's
read
right.
it at the end of the day.
That's right.
35 seconds. You can see Andu and it's Lazarus
Oh, no.
partners. They're the young boys, not Lazarus. It's Lazarus Development, sorry.
You'd think Tech 2 needs to get a roll on about now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, Andu has basically stopped up here. He's backing the jib, 15 seconds to go. He's in the traditional irons position, going backwards.
But that's okay. He's not completely unhappy about it.
No, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're away.
And he just wanted to be last in the queue so he can tack around the
he's
committee
clear,
boat.
exactly, and it's all clear. All clear the
Germans.
start. A few blokes in the middle have got chicken winged up with no breeze. Oh, the Germans, they rolled the dice there, but Andrew has tacked away. As you say, Andrew, he wanted the right. He's got the right.
And that's where the pressure is.
And is it right? That's the way we've got to think about this. A few starting to tack now. C-Tech coming across their few stirs to get out that side. 80-footer bar and restaurant as well. Now Tech 2 is just tacked. There's not much wind.
Well, there's enough for full pressure on the right edge, Pete.
There's more on the right than there is in the left and the middle.
So this will be pretty interesting. Drag race at downrange big sail.
And Lazarus got the pin again, and he looks high down there on starboard. which he won't want. He want to be low on starboard with pressure and go back and cross the fleet. So again, the big split early. Andu hard right, Lazarus hard left. There's Lazarus. Above him is the Royal Oak. Not much wind. You can still see the brown water on Sydney Harbour after all this rain. It's very light here. Some of the crews, only one string at the moment, one trapeze. Knees bent.
Yeah, and the guys on the left are definitely going to gain here, Pete. It's just...
Well, it looks like it, doesn't it? But we thought that last time.
Sorry, the guys on the right, sorry.
Yeah, well, the right, yeah.
Sorry. Good line of pressure.
Which is headed by Andu.
Yep.
And Tech 2's in there as well. The Black Knight of Germany. Rag and Famish Ravensway. Now there's the middle group, which comprises Birkenhead and Yandu, but there's the group that have gone left. I think Smeg's in that group. Okay. We're on the right-hand group again now. Right into the eastern side of Bradley's Head. It's the beach there on that where that infamous reef is. And there's not much wind. Lucky to be 10 knots here, probably less. There's Andu and Tech 2, 1 and 2 on the point score list.
And not far off 1 and 2 in this race.
Well, we'll see what happens to the group coming in from the left. It's all about pressure, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Tech 2's gone back.
Yeah. Tech 2 had to come back, more pressure on the right.
Yeah, he was going into no man's land there.
And guess what?
Andu's going back.
Yep. Got this. So Tech 2 just ducking the Black Knight. But they won't worry about that. They're aiming to the puff. They're not unhappy.
We're looking upwind from... There's Shark Island. To the right of Shark Island to Point Piper, where we can see there definitely looks more wind. More wind means probably more height in this light air.
And more speed too, Pete.
And more speed. So better VMG, Andrew.
That'll do, Peter.
Okay, that's what we like. Good VMG.
Wow, that's amazing. So the first race winner...
Where did Noakes go in all of that?
They're just
All
off
right,
our
he's in
bow,
the
Pete.
middle. He's going the middle and trying to get across to the right now.
Travelling with Andu, downwind of him. Tech 2, Shaw and Partners.
Ilvay and Noakes sailing.
The BavarianBearCompany.com is going all right too.
Who's that, Andrew? Sorry?
The BavarianBearCompany.com.
Yes.
You got a deal? Have you done a deal or something last night we're not aware of for beer?
Lifetime supply. Lifetime supply.
Yeah. Well, it's a big split again. Oh, there's a ferry coming round Bradley's Head. I think he's going to go to leeward of the fleet, which hopefully he will. Won't affect anyone. And here's Lazarus. He was the one that got the pin and went left early, but then came back halfway up the beat. Doesn't look that great at the moment. He's going back on nothing special. But
And Pete, looking out hard right, the Finport is the furthest right, over near Clark Island.
yes,
It's unreal, isn't it?
an off-screen hard left at the Black Swan, Fisher Paykel, and appliances online. Anyway, we're on. There's Finport, Keegan York.
He's in the
Almost had
CBD. He's in the CBD.
Almost had to tack to miss
Popped
Clark
into
Island.
his office to check his emails.
And there's SeaTech, Queenslanders. Not handily position. Andu's tacked. Finport's tacked. SeaTech ducking behind Andu. And now here's Black Swan that's gone to the left of the island where he did very well yesterday in the second race. This is a real lottery. There's shifts everywhere, both in the left and the right. And the
Roll
boat,
of the dice.
again, in the middle, that's done very well. We off screen at the moment is Noakes sailing. There he is. He's coming in towards Shark Island. He's got about 100 metres to go before he tacks.
In a good line of pressure, and he looks like he'll cross Andrew, doesn't he?
Does at the moment. And it's all about pressure here.
And he'd be wishing that the reef wasn't there. Wow, he's over the Cardinal.
Yep, so he's good. And probably the best pressure of the day for this race. This race, yes, is there where he is.
Yeah.
He's going to go right into the shore before he tacks.
No,
There he goes.
there
And
he goes.
now this will tell Andu and Noakes. He doesn't look too good at the moment, Noakes.
But
Needs
he's
a
just
left-hander.
in a slightly lighter bit of air, and now he's into the pressure in about 3,
Yeah,
2,
Andu's bow down to him.
1.
Yeah, snakes and ladders again.
Yeah. It's a big board, though.
And there's a fair group have gone to the left of the island. We'll come to them shortly, but this is the... Oh, Noakes didn't like what he saw. He's come back.
Breeze was too far right
Yeah,
for him.
big time right.
But that's okay. He's navigated his way past the problems of the Dardanelles, and he's in a good line of wind.
There's
So
Smeg.
this is the best first meet from Smeg for a while, Pete,
Yes, yes.
isn't it? He's in touch with the lead.
And they've got a good line of pressure coming down the side of Shark Island as Rag bails out. Smeg's about to bail out. And the Germans, Black Knight, they're doing very well. We'll see them in a moment. There's no sailing. And here come the Germans above Lazarus. There's Andu right up to windward. It's light. It's lucky to be 10 knots here at best. And shifty. Very shifty. There's a fisherman getting a good view of Birkenhead. They tack. A little streak of wind. Ilve's in a good position. But we have a new leader, and it's not Andu.
Fisher and Pykell.
Fisher Pykell went up the left side massively and is in the lead clearly. Jordan Gertis, well done.
So we went left up there, did we, Pete?
Yeah, up the middle and then left. That's exactly
obvious.
what I said.
It was obvious.
Nathan Edwards, Sam Monkhouse. They are in front just over Yandu. Maybe not. Maybe it's closer than I thought. I think it is closer. I think Andu will lead just. No, Fisher Pykell's across. They'll go out to the starboard ley line, you'd think. Then right up to windward. There's a few new boys in the mix, but we'll concentrate on Fisher Pykell. He's got about 60, 80 metres to the ley line.
Breeze
Breeze
hard right.
hard
Hard right. And these guys can crack sheets into the mark now.
Yeah, you get Finport to get the jockey pole up now.
And more wind coming out of the corner, Pete, looking upwind. So these guys will go round in a good puff. How about that, Jimmy? Finport leading. About time.
Well, it'll be close with Fisher Pykell, yes. Fisher Pykell and Andu coming back on shockers. Finport trying to get across. Well, back Fisher Pykell tack short, I think, and try and squeeze and get, because it's so far in the right. Close. This is a very good race again. Black Swan's in it too. Andu tacking. Very short, very short. This will be a tight lay, but there's a good breeze coming down here. If the three of them get this, they should all get round, but it'll be tough for Andu to live there, to get round.
No, he's breathing.
He just breathe. Yes, he is breathing. Oh, Finport can put the pedal down and roll around the outside of them. Fisher Pykell will get there. Andu on tight lay. Has to go a little bit head to wind, but sneaks around. Okay, game on.
Game on for the run.
Finport, Fisher Pykell, Andu. Coming next will be C-Tech. And the Black Knight. Good set on Fisher Pykell and Finport. C-Tech. Thou Black Knight of Germany. Noakes sailing. First race winner today. Noakes sailing. Here comes the Black Knight, yes.
Wow. And Finport just got a beauty roll straight around Andrew's bow and off.
On screen.
Noakes dropped the spinnaker, then that's the green and black is the Black Knight. Noakes sailing up to windward of those.
Snake around.
Smeg's around just behind Tech 2. So they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th Smeg. And then the Royal Oaks around inside the Kitchen Maker. And the breeze, what have we got? 10 knots maximum. And the gust, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the Rag is around, followed by Lazarus. And then Shaw and Partners after them. Birkenhead Point, Ilvay. So we're off downwind for the first time. 2 windwards, 2 leewards. Really close at the front of this fleet. Off screen to the right is Fisher Paykel, really sailing hot angles. There he is to the right with a black spinnaker.
He must be close to a giant, Pete.
All on starboard jibe. No one has jibed yet. Finport probably leads.
Yeah, Finport's got quite a good lead.
Horse now up now. Finport dropping down a little. Fisher Paykel comes back. He's first to jibe. Andrew jibes.
So they'll all pretty much jibe in unison here.
C-Tech jibes. Noakes standing on. Noakes about to jibe. It's in the background, the race leader, Finport.
Now, Finport not notorious for getting the gate right, are they, Jimmy?
No.
If you sort of jibe about when Andrew does, you'll get there until he watches this back.
Yeah, 9.5 times out of 10 he gets it right.
Yeah, so Andrew's wriggled his way up to second. But it's the business of accurate jibe angle and side of the gate.
Yeah, well, they're not laying yet. They've got this, at this stage, no one's laying, are they? I think they're all above it.
No, the breeze a little softer, as we've said.
So it's Finport and Andu. Followed by Fisher Paykel, C-Tech, the Black Knight, and Noakes sailing. Best race for the Finport so far, Keegan York, Phil Marshall and Bryce Edwards. Now, which way at the gate do you go? There's a gate here, they can go left or they can go right. And then the final beat to windward.
We picked it so well up the first one, Pete. We'll do whatever you want us to do.
I'll go left, I think. Looking upwind, I think there's a bit more breeze in the left. In the right, I mean the right. So go the left-hand mark and then go up the beat in the right-hand side. But anyway, Finport has jibe. So
I think that's a pretty good jibe angle.
yeah.
Depending on which mark they're trying to go to. Wow, they're going to do a jibe drop at the other mark. Okay. So they got a little gap there by bringing in more wind.
Yes, they're going to jibe drop. So they're going to the left-hand mark
on the edge of that little puff. Well done, boys. I'll retract everything I said about your sometimes not quite perfect bottom mark approaches.
Well, they got that very neatly done.
Cat amongst the pigeons, and they've maintained a safe lead over Andrew. Andrew might come to the other mark here.
Well, and they've really opened up on Andrew, and just in that last little bit, didn't they?
And more pressure coming
Yeah,
down.
Andrew jibing.
Fleeter rolling down.
Following him.
Andrews wants the left mark. So does Fisher Paykel. All want the left.
Noakes and Tech 2.
Probably going to the right-hand mark.
Yeah.
Okay, Fisher Paykel third. Noakes will be in C-Tech close to fifth.
Having a blind to the guys on C-Tech.
Yeah, that's been their best race by quite a long way. Oh, and they're having a bit of trouble with the chute. No, they've got it done.
No, it's still halfway up the mast. Oh, here comes the Black Swan in at pace. Okay, Noakes is on the wind. C-Tech round the outside of Tech 2. Black Swan a bit wobbly.
Yeah, good pressure across the track now. And it's hard left, Pete. So
Yep. And so there's at the left-hand mark is Smeg just gone round. Now, next to go round will be the Rag. On the outside of him, Royal Oak. Then behind them, the Kitchen Maker. And on the right-hand mark, Lazarus Capital Partners going round. But we're on the left-hand mark. So it's a big split again, left or right.
So, and Tech 2, who has got his way up towards fourth here, just tacked back onto port. So he's going back to the right-hand side of the track. The middle where the wind is, Peter, perhaps in some degree.
Middle to the right, it looks from
yeah.
where we are. We're at the leeward gate
Yep.
and looking upwind towards Shark Island. There looks just more pressure in the right and high
But the breeze is turning left, Peter.
left.
So
It's high on
that's
the left, yes.
problematic for the guys that went right early.
It's Balmain Slake
The 18-footers bar and restaurant.
with the yellow. Yep, they're about 15th, 16th. Way back last is Yandu. Wow, they've had a tough old day.
I don't know if we're allowed to mention that in the broadcast, Peter.
Well, it's got a lot of fans out there. There he is way in the distance, but anyway, we're up with the leaders, which is he has not won. There's Aaron Everett in the Royal Oak. We heard him speak a bit earlier. Above him is Smeg, the defending champion. I'd like to be in the left at the moment, but anyway, we'll soon see. I'd like to be in the left, but these boats are not. They're in the right.
Yeah. And a big catamaran ferry made a big hole in the wind.
That's Andu right at the brand new Kentucky Fried Market, Bradley's Head. Laid this morning, put the old one out of commission and got a new one.
That old one saw some history, Peter, didn't
That
it?
certainly did. He could tell some stories.
Blokes with some spinnakers tied around
Yeah.
it, something round and round it in circles.
Bloke sneaking out at midnight. Well, there's the Black Knight. Honoric von Bayern, Tom Martin and his brother Andy. On Finport, Keegan York. He leads Andu quite comfortably. And I think the right has paid big time. Big time. Fisher Paykel in third spot. Clearly third. Now they're the three leaders. Finport, Andu. Oh, tacked on a beauty, Andu. And looked as though, here comes a good friendly powerboat. Yeah. Boat full of kumquat heads. Just go a bit closer to the mate. Anyway, Finport looks good. Lifting round the bows of Andu. Yeah, the boats that went left, Andrew, have been absolutely hammered.
Yeah, and, you know, it's easy, hard. We could
It's hard.
say that they could have dug back to the east, but they chose not to, so we'll never know the real answer.
No, but it is shifty and
Yeah.
light. pressure up, pressure down.
So Finport leads by a pretty good margin, Pete, I would say. Where's this speed been all week, Jimmy? Oh, it's Big Rig.
He likes the
Big
big
rig.
rig, I think.
Yeah.
I think as we said yesterday, he won that mini-series just before the JJ started.
That's right, he was the most consistent boat
Yeah,
that day.
and that was a very light, big sail day.
Yep.
But nonetheless, he's about 2/3 the way up the beat to Rose Bay. And then the run to the finish, and the day's racing will be done, and 7 races will be completed. And we've only got tomorrow and Sunday to go. And it's light air, it's shifty. And the right-hand edge has paid dramatically here. We looked at Noakes, who was strong early, went to the left, has got really hammered.
Well, and the leaders have gotten richer here too, Pete, haven't they?
That's what it's about, yeah. And there's good pressure coming around Point Piper now. See the 3 leaders there in the distance, Finport, and then Andu, and then Fisher Paykel. Jordan Gertis, 5th in the first race today. So they're doing a good job. He's in a nice bit of air, nice right hand pressure. Got the boat moving very nicely. Today's sponsored by Kobe. You can see it prominently displayed on the leach of the mainsail down near the clue as he gets a more right-hander, and you're looking right ahead of him at Andu and Finport. Finport leads quite easily. Andu about 30 or 40 metres ahead of Fisher Paykel as Finport tacks. Just starting to drop off the edge of the earth there a bit, I think. He didn't want Andu up on his hip.
Yeah, and nice breeze in the region of the windward mark, so doesn't look like it's going to be too troublesome for Finport.
So he's not far off the ley line. He's and good pressure where he's going too. Keegan York, Phil Marshall and Bryce Edwards. The job ahead of them, but they're doing a terrific job at the moment to hold their lead. Not far off it here, in good breeze. More to where they're going as well. There they go.
Nice 80-degree tacking angle into the mark if they maintain what they've got there pressure-wise and angle-wise.
They've opened up a very nice lead. Very nice lead on the Finport.
They've got pretty short-footed, haven't they, this race?
Go and have a close look at them.
Yep, lying the mark pretty handily.
Nice ley line.
Hammer down.
They'd be, 30 seconds ahead of Andu, and then a reasonable gap then to Fisher Paykel. There's the mark, just off the leach of the mainsail.
And a nice puff.
Nice puff to get away in, nothing extreme. So just the run now to the finish. Oh, there's a big powerboat coming down the middle of the course.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it. Okay, so Keegan York leads.
Hopefully he's seen that powerboat.
Well, hopefully the powerboat's seen him.
Yeah.
Not much air, but enough to get the bow down. So he's going to be clear of the powerboat.
Powerboat stopped.
Powerboat has stopped. Thank you, Mr. Powerboat. We like you. All eyes are on Keegan York. Nice lead over Andu. Still not around the windward mark. Now 3 boat lengths from it. He's around now, so that's the lead, what, about 30? What is it, Andrew?
A little over 30 seconds.
Okay. Andrew's around, he's going to run into Bondi Beach here in a minute. Look at that, there's a bloke. Let's turn the speed up, mate, see him make bigger waves.
So Pete Shaw and partners made the adventure around the eastern side of Shark.
How did,
It worked okay.
oh, too bad. So, great shot there of the first and second boats. Finport leads. And there's third and fourth going in. Tech 2 somehow's got himself up. Fisher Pikel.
Yeah.
Then Smeg, Rag,
Big left.
Black Swan, Shaw and Partners is there. Black Knight, don't know where, no salient in that, but anyway, we're not concentrating on that group, we're concentrating on the leaders. Finport, just a nice light run to the finish. Probably a couple more jibes and they've got the job done. You're a bit nervous, Keegan, looking behind him. Yeah, Andrew's got the bow down.
And trust me, Pete, he would be looking backwards.
He doesn't lead races too comfortably, does he, Jim?
No.
But he's good now. He's on the face of a good path, so I doubt that he'll be too troubled here. But
Andrew's coming at him, but he's got a lot of distance to make up. A lot of distance. That's Andrew right in the background. Just see between the spinnaker and the headsail. What a great shot. That's what Keegan's looking at.
yeah, he's feeling a bit more comfortable now that he's got a good line of headed pressure.
Yeah, he's got 3 strings.
Well, he's just got to remember too that he's got a long finish line.
Yeah. No,
Yes, don't panic too early.
They will have figured that out.
But Andrew is a lot lower than him. He's skimming down the eastern side of Shark Island. But I think they'll be pretty happy, Keegan would be, where he is. Oh, he'd be still looking nervously.
No, they're jibing.
They're going to jibe.
They're jibing on Finport.
Going to go and
Yeah,
cover
I think
him
he's
off.
got to go on. Yes, exactly. You can see Andrew coming down there, still on starboard jibe.
But it's good pressure on the other jibe, Pete. So
Yeah, Keegan's got the job done there.
no drama, I don't think at all.
You just go down in front of Andrew and come back, you'd think. Finport leads. Yeah, still a nice lead. We're about 200 to 300 metres from the finishing line of this race today, the second race, which will mean 7 races have been completed. Today's race sponsored by Vycobi. And we're racing for the trophy of Alan Cole. This Finport still on port jibe. A nice lead. He's just got to get this jibe angle right to go into the finish. Yandu on starboard jibe.
And Finport now jibing away back onto starboard. So parallel.
Are you nervous, Andrew?
No.
Or you're happy?
No, he's
okay.
fine. He's fine.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
He's in headed pressure going toward the other end.
To the right end.
And Andrew will come probably to this end with one more jibe.
Okay, we're right aboard the Finport. Andrew have got a jibe to go in. There they go. And Finport clearly ahead now. But he maintained his distance really from the weather mark. Held their nerve very well. Great effort from the Finport boys. And on a tricky day, a very tricky day, big sail day, a lot of shifts, a lot of pressure differentials. And there's Finport across now. He will win the 7th race of the JJ Giltners for 2022. So interesting, he was 21st in the first race today and first now. Whereas Andu, as you'd expect, consistency plus 2 seconds. It's going to be hard to beat now for this title.
He's got to have a disaster now for
Yeah.
anybody to get near him, basically.
So Andu, again, highly polished performance, consistency plus, no mistakes. Always there or thereabouts to get second.
So on screen, you're seeing the battle for third, fourth.
And there's the Rag. He's
Third, fourth, fifth with Tech
Yeah,
2. They
sorry,
all
yeah.
came around right on each other's hip. Bugger.
plenty to play for here.
Yeah. Yeah, Fisher and Peichel, Rag and Famish in the middle, and Tech 2.
Looks like Fisher
furthest-
Peichel might do it.
furthest towards the city. Well, it just depends on this last rolling puff, Pete, I think.
Yes.
In all reality, it's pressure's good. Tech 2 jibing. Sorry, folks, not on frame, but
Okay. Here's
Fisher and Peichel looks
gotta-
pretty good, though.
Yeah,
All
he's
look
going to
good.
get third. Fisher Peichel will get third.
All look good, actually. Very close between the Rag and Tech 2.
Yes. There's Fisher Peichel almost there in third spot. So a good day for him. Third and fifth.
The Germans almost in the hunt, and now on the far end, the Smeg on a screamer.
Yeah, it's coming in. Okay, Fisher Peichel third. Okay, Rag will be fourth. It's a much better performance
Yep.
in the first race today where they were way down. Not way down, seventh. So Tech 2 next.
Just by a bow
Then
length.
Smeg. Then
Noakes.
Noakes.
Then Black Swan. Oh no, the Germans.
Black Knight,
The Black Knight and the Black Swan.
Black Swan,
Oh, which black got that?
Black Knight first, Black Swan second. In that
Okay.
one. Then Lazarus.
Lazarus. And then Shaw.
Oh no, C-Tech and then
C-Tech.
Shaw.
C-Tech then Shaw.
C-Tech. Okay, good day for the Queenslanders.
Yeah.
And then Shaw. Where was Lazarus? And then she was in front of him, was she?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Lazarus will be 10th. C-Tech 11th. Shaw 12th. Wow, they're all finishing very quickly, so a big gap now to the next boat. So just rounding that off, Finport was first. Yeah, Andu second, Fisher Peichel third, Rag fourth, Tech 2 fifth, Smeg sixth, Noakes seventh, Black Knight eighth, Black Swan ninth, Lazarus 10th, C-Tech 11th, Shaw and Partners 12th. So I'll get my statistician Andrew to give us a provisional point score, but it
Is
Looks
Ilbe
as,
coming to the finish, Pete? Still got a little way to go.
yeah, it looks pretty clear now that Andu has opened up a fair gap on the point score. So I think he'll be clearly first, Tech 2 will be second, and Rag probably third on points. So it'll just be interesting to see what the points differential is. So I've had one race tomorrow and one on Sunday, and we'll give you an early forecast of what the Weather Bureau says is in store for us tomorrow. 2:45 start is scheduled, and I can tell you that my system is not working, but I will get it in a moment for the Bureau of Meteorology website, and that is telling me that tomorrow for the marine forecast for Sydney Harbour, for those of you that are watching, tomorrow 12th of March, easterly 10 to 15 knots. Okay, another big sail day. Sunday is much the same, I think, as Ilve goes across in 13th position. Sunday is east to northeast. Oh, we might be on our northeasterly course, 10 to 15 knots, decreasing to about 10 knots during the morning. So another soft day. And there is the Royal Oak in 14th position.
And the Kitchenmaker will be next, Birkenhead Point.
Kitchenmaker and then Birkenhead Point. So Royal Oak 14, 15 Kitchenmaker.
You got a table booked tonight, Shippo, with Woody?
No, actually, funny you say that. I was going to dinner with him, but he cancelled. He might have known something. He might have known something. 18 footers is next on 17. Then Balmain Slake will be following them in the orange spinnaker. How are you going with your points there, Andrew?
I'm ready to go when you are, Pete. Just wait till after the Balmain, eh?
Okay, there's a big gap.
We've declared him, have we?
Yeah, we've declared him at 18th. Okay, fire away, Andrew. This is provisional, we must say, with one drop in the system, 2 more races to go. Fire away, Andrew.
So, first, Andrew, obviously, 7 points. Second, Tech 2, 18 points. Third, Ragged Famish on 28 points. Note Sailing, fourth on 39 points, followed by Smeg on 47 and the Black Swan on 50.
Okay, well, the only thing that'll play in there is, of course, Lazarus Capital Partners is going to get average points, but I don't think it'll affect the top 4 or 5 positions, but because of his damage yesterday. But we'll see that paying out tomorrow once he gets those average points awarded. So I think we've just about finished as we're watching a few of the tail enders come across the line. A day that, well, we saw 2 new winners in Noakes in the first race and Finport in the second, but Andu was second in both to really put a big stamp on this title. And I think if he gets a good position tomorrow, he'll be in an unbeatable situation. So we hope you can join us then for one race, 2:45 Sydney time for the start. In what we expect is light easterly breeze on a full course. No short racing, a full course tomorrow. So I hope you've enjoyed it today. Some really good close racing. A day that belonged really, again, to Noakes and Finport. Great to see those boys getting up there for wins, but Andu, as always, consistent and as good as ever. So on behalf of the Sail Media team and all our camera guys, we thank you for watching. We thank Jimmy Bury for navigating us around the harbour, Andrew Buckland as usual, and thank you for your comments. So we'll see you all tomorrow. This is Peter Shipway saying a very good afternoon from Sydney Harbour. So I'm with Aaron Everett, the skipper of Royal Oak Four Pines. Aaron, there's a few things that we talk about during the commentary on the boat, and let's just have a look at a few of those. Let's talk about the jib backing line first.